Hi everyone, my name is VandyHacks, and this is my 2026 VandyHacks submission here at the beautiful Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee. I am so excited and honestly just processing the fact that I was able to do this less than 9 hours into the hackathon, and I am just so proud, so happy, and so excited to show you how my app can solve a problem that many small businesses, especially in the service industry, small independent businesses, are dealing with. So imagine you're a hairstylist who owns a small barbershop, or you're an electrician, or you're a plumber, and you're in this kind of weird area in the service industry where your client or your customer is understandably not willing to fully pay or pay at all for the service until it is fully done. In other words, they're not willing to prepay. And this is understandable, and of course the plumber, electrician, hairstylist also understands this and wants to respect their client's wishes or beliefs, because say your client gets a haircut from you, and or let's just say I'm the client either, and I get a haircut, and I want to make sure that it is fully, up to par. It is fully, I am fully satisfied, and only then I will give my money to my barber. Or I want to make sure that my toilet is fully unclogged before I give my money to the plumber, right? And of course, like I said, they understand this. They respect their customers' wishes, but it puts the plumber, the electrician, hairstylist, and whoever else at a disadvantage, because this allows for the possibility of no-shows or cancellations. And this is really unfortunate because, for the most part, the client or the customer, by canceling or by not showing up, has nothing to lose except, of course, that emotional or moral kind of conflict in their head, like, oh my god, I feel so bad for doing this. But at the same time, like, when we look at the tangible stuff, the money, right, that's being lost, right? And of course, like many in this, the service industry in general, like, if they allocate 1 hour of their time, and of course, like, they're suddenly like, hey, like they get canceled on, right, then that 1 hour is useless. They won't make any money. And of course, they may have a family, right, to support, and or they may, like, they really need that money, and of course now it's just taken away from them. And so that's exactly what Slot Shield, of course, as evident by the name, right, slot, time slot, this app here kind of acts as a shield, right? It gives you this instant, this rapid, this quick recovery plan that you can do so that you can make up as much money possible in that, allocated time for what was, an appointment with your client into another way of, just kind of getting back that money, because every single penny is important, especially in the service industry. If you lose, if I'm a barber or I'm a hairstylist and my client just doesn't show up to the appointment, I just lost $20, assuming I charged $20 for a haircut, and I may really need that $20 at that moment. So using slotshield.biz, which is, again, you can access this. Everything I'm about to do here is live. You can type this in yourself. Of course, make sure it's not blocked. I had to talk to the Vanderbilt IT support today because it was originally blocked, but now I got it unblocked, so this should work. So again, everything I'm showing you is real. Try it out yourself. So I am going to sign in here, let's say with my Google account, right? So let's say I'm a barber by the name of Cornelius Vanderbilt. Let's just say that. And of course, Vanderbilt, right? University's named after. He was quite the opposite. He was, in fact, a huge captain of industry in specifically the railroad industry. But whatever. Let's just say Cornelius Vanderbilt was a barber in the 21st century, right? So let's say his email. I'm going to say I think I made this sample account, Vanderbilt Cornelius 1794, that's the year he was born. Then I'm going to enter the password. Okay, and so now I have to give some business details. This is just kind of like an introduction, right? So I'm going to just call it Vanderbilt Barber Shop. Maybe that exists, maybe that doesn't, I don't know, but let's just assume it's his. And I'm going to say it's hair industry. You can provide a business phone, you don't really need to, but it may help you later. And then here, this is kind of like your first service. This may help you out just to kind of get, to have our Gemini AI, have kind of a first impression of, what it's dealing with here. So I'm going to say standard men's haircut, right, because it's Cornelius the barber. And okay, I want to pull up something, calendar.google.com. I actually created a sample calendar. So I go here on Monday. This is Cornelius's, let's say, hypothetical schedule, right? 8 a.m. morning coffee, and he opens the shop 9 to 9:45. He has a haircut from Mr. Thompson, etc. This is just a sample schedule for Cornelius, right? Let's say that this is just his schedule, and of course, right, he's in this area where, of course, like his customers, like Mr. Thompson, Alex, Jeremy, they are not going to pay him until he gives them a good haircut. And so if I see here, I'm going to say $20, like I said, as an example. And if we look at the duration here, I'm seeing like an average like 45 minutes. Okay, complete setup. And so now, of course, everything is very empty because we've not linked this Google Calendar. So you can actually link your Google Calendar. Now, if you don't even use Google Calendar, that's okay. If you use like another scheduling platform like Acuity or Calendly, I don't know if I said that right. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about. You can actually download the ICS or the CSV file and upload it here as well. So that works too. And of course, worst case scenario, this is like the last resort. If you don't have any of those, which would be kind of shocking because these are all the mainstream ones, you can manually add them, but I do not recommend that, right? Hopefully you're using something that is already out there like Google Calendar or Acuity and whatnot. So we want to sync our Google Calendar, so I'm going to click on sync here, and then I'm going to hit connect Google Calendar, and I'm going to use the Google account, which is linked to this calendar here of Cornelius, and then I'm going to click here, and then of course this is Google hasn't verified this app, and this is of course normal because I created this app today itself. Can't verify that fast, right? So I'm just going to hit advanced, and I'm just going to proceed anyway. And I already used this account many times and had to restart because this is like my sixth take of this video. But essentially, it'll ask you to view events in your calendar. It'll just literally ask you to, see all the stuff in your calendar. And of course, that's what we want because in order for the best possible experience, it should have full access to your calendar. So I'm going to hit continue here. And now I'm going to do something called a smart sync. So essentially, utilizing or harnessing the power of Gemini and AI as a whole, if we look back at Cornelius's schedule here, you see that at 8 a.m., right, he had a morning coffee and he opened up his shop. That's not providing a service to a client or a customer. And if you look here from 5:30 to 6:30, he went to the gym, and that's also not providing a service to a client or a customer. And so, of course, like when you look at, from practical lens, a small business owner, whether it's in the service industry or not, it's always convenient to just have your daily schedule of everything that you're doing that day, regardless of if it's business related or personal. It's just convenient to have it all in one place. But of course, like, this is strictly for business purposes. And so, like, it's still inconvenient, right? Like, to manually go ahead and say, hey, this is not a business thing, this is not a business thing. Instead, we can just have AI do it for us. Now, when it comes to the case where AI accidentally like removed something that it thought was a personal thing, but it was actually like, hey, no, this was actually a service that I provided to a client or a customer. It'll kind of quarantine it in a way or exclude it, but you can override it and put it back into the list. So in that rare case that the AI, I don't want to say hallucinates, but makes an error, you can correct it manually. So I'll click sync now. And so here, as you see, it made a little bit of a mistake, right? And that's okay, because then you can manually override it. So it got Mr. Thompson's haircut and Jeremy L's haircut. And so it maybe took the interpretation of haircut too seriously, because if you rewind a little bit, I said that the business was a hair business. So maybe when it saw something like kids cut, it took it to literally like, hey, that could not be a haircut. So no worries, just click here, you can override it. And then of course, like, you can put beard trim here, you can override it as well, because beard trims are typically done in barbershops. Again, I plan to, of course, if I expand on this, make it a little bit better at stuff like that. But of course, just manually override it, no big deal, it takes an extra second. And so I'm going to import these 4 appointments here. And so now if I go to appointments, I can see here these 4 specific appointments with these specific people. So let's say, last minute, or just like, let's say that Jeremy just never shows up for his haircut. So I'm going to click no show here. It's going to ask you to confirm. I'm going to confirm that Jeremy was a no-show. So if I click here, it's processing. So just give it a moment. Takes a little bit of time. It's kind of processing, doing a little bit of stuff, but it should be worth it. Okay, so just give it a bit. Okay, and so it's saying that the expected recovery is $15. If you recall, the haircut itself was $20, but of course, since it didn't show up, you are making $5 less, which is better than nothing, though, right? So how do you do this, right? So first of all, it gives like a confidence, 65% confidence that you will make $15 back. And so it gives some reasoning, social media, being ready for walk-ins. And so, of course, it's saying like missing contact information, booking system to require both phone number and email for all new client appointments. Again, this is something you can, of course, add to your Google Calendar itself, but there is an alternative to this, which I'm going to get to in just a second. There's also, again, like social media, and of course, like display any immediate openings, stuff like that. Again, if you are already doing this, give it more context, right? Give it more context. So I'm going to execute the plan now. I think this is pretty good. And so again, you can execute each of these actions, right? Like offer to reschedule. And again, this is more or less like a checklist. It's not going to actually execute these things for you, although of course I will plan to add that in the future, like an OpenClaw kind of autonomous thing where you can link your social media accounts and stuff. That sounds like something that would be really cool to do. So again, let's say, right, of course, like if we go to appointments again, like Jeremy did not show. So if I go here to my clients, let me sync my clients. So I have a list of clients, right? And so if I click here, like if I go to Jeremy, right, it says that he here has a medium risk. And what that means is like, okay, like first of all, keep in mind that this is only 1 day's worth of appointments. So this could 100% change and is not determined just based off this. Of course, the more appointments and days you have, the better, the more accurate this will be, right? So if you see here, Jeremy's a medium because he had only 1 no-show, but obviously, like, that doesn't mean he's going to not show up the rest of the time. This could have just been a one-off thing. So again, you just got to do this more and more and more, okay? So again, maybe don't look at this for your first time. Maybe come back to the client management later. Okay, so what's really cool is the AI command center. So if you go here to like AI messages, you can, of course, if you have your no-show, let's Jeremy did not show up. I want to send him an SMS message. I can pick the tone. So I'm gonna do like, let's say, an urgent tone. Gemini will then create a very succinct message. And then the cool part is, using Twilio here, you can actually enter Jeremy's number and you can just send the message straight from your portal. But I think what's even cooler is if you use voice recovery, right? If I, this is going to use 11 Labs here. If I use some kind of voice here, like let's say this, Sarah, mature, reassuring, confident. If I click generate a voice recovery call, give it a second, I guess. And so if and look how nice this is. Like, we just wanted to follow up because it looks like we missed you for your haircut. No worries at all. We understand that things can pop up. Very human-like. So let me enter my phone number. Again, I am leaking my phone number. I understand what I'm doing. Feel free to call me. 847-530-8947. Okay, call me. I don't care. Okay, so I put call now, and I should be getting a call on my phone. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm getting a call. It is saying scam likely. Again, I have an Android. Most people in the U.S. have iPhones. Maybe it may not say the same thing, but I'm getting a call. So then,
you can remove this message at it.
Hi, Jeremy. This is the team at Vanderbilt Barbershop calling. We just wanted to gently follow up because it looks like we missed you for your haircut appointment today, March 16th at 6:15 p.m. No worries at all. We completely understand that things can pop up. We'd love to help you get rescheduled whenever works best for your schedule. Please feel free to give us a call back at your convenience at your phone number to book a new time. We hope to hear from you soon and have a wonderful rest of your day.
And that is phenomenal. You can just do this straight, from the dashboard. No need to get out your own phone. Just click, enter the client's number, and then it will call them and have your virtual assistant via 11 Labs take care of it. Beautiful. Just incredible. So this is one of the many things. I know that this video is very long, but I just want to give you a preview of some of the incredible things that I did here today at Vanderbilt University. Again, you can please, I encourage you to try this out on your own. This is 100% live, full stack, fully works. It's slotshield.biz. Please try it out for yourself. Thank you. I just want to say again, thank you to VandyHacks. Incredible event. Excellent. I don't know, man. It's just incredible day today.